Next is the blush that I've been using, the brush, and my lash, I'm like out of breath. Individual brush. Hey guys, so I know this is my third video that I'm filming with this neon ass lip, but I just don't feel like changing it, and I know that it is going to stain, so it doesn't matter. It's the same thing as me wearing a nude lip in every single video. I don't know why I'm going on and on. But anyways, today I am bringing you my favorite Morphe brushes video. This is a very, very requested video on my channel. So I'm hoping that it's going to be useful for you guys that either want to buy the bundles or buy individuals or whatever the case may be. I am a big individual brush buyer. Yeah, like I prefer to buy my brushes individually only because I like to pick and choose what brushes I want. However, a lot of my brushes came from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Favorites Set. Almost all of these actually came from that, and then I had a couple that I had already owned before, and the ones that I did, I ended up just putting into my kit, and then so I have doubles of them. But all of these brushes are brushes that I have used for a while that you've probably seen me talk about. All of these brushes you've probably seen me talk about 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 times before. They're all brushes that I love, that I feel like if you bought them you would not regret it. I have it split up between face and eyes, I guess. Yeah, face and eyes. So this is gonna be a long one, so let's just get into it. So I'm gonna start off with the face brushes first, and the first brush that I have to talk about is the Morphe M439. You guys know I'm not a big brush foundation, like a foundation brush person. I just don't use my brushes. I prefer to put on my entire complexion with a beauty sponge. However, there are days, as you can see it's dirty, there are days that I don't feel like getting up, grabbing a sponge, washing it, and then wetting it, drying it off with a towel. There's days that I don't want to do that. So for those days, I love using the Morphe M439. This was in Jaclyn Hill's Favorites videos. I think she's raved about this brush so many times, and for very good reason. It's extremely dense, so when you put your foundation on and you buff it in, it leaves you no streaks as long as your brush is clean. And it's huge. Like it's such a big brush, so it blends your foundation extremely fast. This is something that I would definitely put into my kit. Like if I were to buy another one, I would definitely invest in one for my kit, just because there are some people that I can just use a brush on and their foundation looks flawless. So this is the M439. I will link all the brushes down below just so it's easier for you guys to shop. But this is the M439 and it's such a good foundation brush. Next, I have the Morphe E8, and I'm not sure exactly what this brush is for. It might have a specific like name on the website, but I like to use this brush. I would actually use this brush just to buff concealer in, and there have been days that I have done it. But what I do with this brush, it might be a little bit high maintenance, but when I pick up my foundation, I hate touching foundation. I don't like touching my makeup. I don't like getting my hands dirty with makeup. It just annoys me because then I have to wash my hands, and most of the time I get it, my shirt's dirty, I get foundation everywhere. I just prefer to not use my hands. I don't want to get my hands dirty when I'm doing my makeup. So this brush, I like to pump out my foundation. I did it today, and I literally just, it's dirty right now as you can see, I literally just used it. I pump out my foundation, I pick up the foundation, and I just swipe it on my face. Again, this could be a very high maintenance reason to like this brush, but I like it because I'm able to work in small sections, and I have used this to actually put in and buff my concealer in when I feel like I just want to use brushes for the day, like I don't feel like wetting a sponge. I use these two, and I really, really like this brush. I never knew that I needed a brush like this until I had it. Freaking love it. Definitely recommend it. It's a good brush. Next I have the, wow, that's a Sephora brush. Didn't mean to pick that up. Next I have the brush that I use to set my under eyes and set my eyelids. Once I prime my eyelids, I am someone that has to set my eyes because my eyes crease a lot, like my lids. I have very, very oily eyelids. Doesn't make any sense because I have very dry skin. So when I put my primer or concealer or whatever on my eyes, I use this brush and I literally just dip it into powder and set it. And this brush is just the perfect size and the perfect shape for my eyes. Like I literally just boom, boom, boom. And today I use it to, you know, set under here, and I just love the size, and I love that it's pointed because you can get right in there, right along the sides of your nose, and then it's just amazing. It's a freaking good brush. I love it. This is the Morphe M438. Next is the brush that I've been using for blush for the last like 5 years, and this is the Morphe E4. I love it because it is slanted like this, and there's actually a brush from Sephora, from the Sephora collection, that is just like this, exactly like this, but it's like 20-something dollars. Is it amazing? Yes. You can get this one for like 10 bucks though, probably even less. And I just love it. It's always dirty because this is a brush that I use every single day. It literally just sits on your cheek perfectly. Like, it's not something that you have to sit there and like buff around. You literally dip in your blush, go like this, and your blush is on. I love it because it hugs the apples of the cheeks very, very well. And you can also use this for bronzer. Like, if you want a nice contour, you can use this for that, but I have another brush that I really like for that stuff, but I really like this brush, and this is the Morphe E4. So this is probably the brush that I get questions about the most. This one and one other one, and this is the Morphe M530, and this is the brush that I use for bronzer and contour, whatever. I use this brush because, one, it is pretty small. I mean, it is still pretty fluffy, like compared to the foundation brush. It's not like it's ridiculously small, but it's small enough to where I can literally fit in my brush right in the apples, or like right in the crease of my bone. I don't really contour, that's just not my thing. I just prefer to be really bronzy. I don't care for like really chiseled cheekbones, it's just, but it's big enough to where I can bronze here without having to freaking dip a million times and keep rebronzing, but it still fits right here in the cups of my cheeks, on my chin. I have one for my kit and I use it as well. I love it in my kit. This brush has changed my life. Like, I love this brush. Next, I have two highlighting brushes, and this one I get questions about the most when I use it, and this is the Morphe M510. It's the brush that I've been using ever since I got it. I have not gone back to a different brush, and this one is just the perfect size. I have this one as well, which is the Morphe M501, which is very popular like in the YouTube community, and I like it. It's small, it fits, but I don't like that very intense stripe of a highlight. Some people love that, and that's fine. I just don't like it. I prefer something a little bit fluffier that blends my highlight out a little bit more and puts a little bit more on my cheeks. So I've been using the Morphe M510 for that, and it just fits right there without being too small. It's perfect. I love this brush, and every time I use it on Instagram Live, people are like, what brush is that? What brush is that? Like, people blow me up about this brush. So this is the Morphe M510 and the Morphe M501. I still do like this brush, but I use it mainly if I want to like make a pop on my cheekbones, which I'll do right now just so you can see. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of these two highlighters, and if I literally just put it right there, it's a very small brush, so it gives you that nice pop and very, very detailed because it's so little. So I like this brush as well. Next, I have a brush that I use to contour my nose. I use two brushes when it comes to contouring my nose, and one of them is the Morphe E47, which when I first bought this brush, I thought it was going to be like a good like eat a brush dupe. It's not. It's freaking tiny, as you can see. Like, it's super little. So I use this sometimes to stamp my contour out. If not, I use it to pack the powder right around my nose just to set the contour. So I love this one. This is the E47, and then I also love the Morphe E22. It's dirty right now because I was using it to pack on black liner on my eye, but I use this as well to blend out my nose contour because it has this perfect point to it. Like, it looked like it could be an eyeshadow brush, but I just like using it for my nose. Now I have all eye brushes. These are all brushes that I feel like if I can only pick these brushes to do my eyeshadow, I would be a-okay. So the first one is the Morphe M531, and this brush is huge. When I first got this, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna use this for my eyes. Like, this is a huge brush. But this brush for a transition shade is golden. It is so good. I used it today to put my transition shade into my crease. It's very fluffy and big, so it literally puts your eyeshadow in your crease, and it's like a 1, 2, 3 step. You don't have to do a whole bunch of blending because it's so big and fluffy that it kind of blends as you put the eyeshadow on. So I freaking love this. Even like at the end of your eye look, if you just want to go in and blend, this is an amazing brush. I freaking love this brush. Next, for more detailed crease work, I like the Morphe M433. I just mentioned this in my last favorites video, I think. This brush to me is the #1 brush that you would need if you're gonna get a brush from Morphe. It is perfect because it's very fluffy, as you can see, but it also kind of pinches. So you can use this to get in your crease and then twist it a little bit, and you can define your crease with it. I think this is equivalent to MAC, I can't remember the name of the brush, but this is equivalent to one of the MAC brushes, one of the really popular ones that everyone loves, and I don't know what I was doing in my life without this brush. I really don't. I need to pick up like 4 more because I want it at all times. I just love this brush. Now, another little detailed crease brush is the Morphe M562. This brush is so little. I love it, but if you're cutting your crease or someone that has a very little crease that wants a defined crease, this is perfect because of how, like, look at how little this is. It's like compared to, like, you see, it's so tiny, but I love it for detailed crease work. I'll literally pick it up, and if I really want like a color to stand out, I'll pick it up and just go right in there, and it is amazing. It also is really good for halo eyes because it's so small that you can blend your shadow in your inner corner without it blowing up and being this huge like blown out mess. So I freaking love this. Again, the M562. Now for the last detailed crease brush, I have the Morphe M507. I have 2 of this brush and 1 is in my kit because I absolutely love it. It's just very good for detail precision. It's also good for highlighting your inner corners, and it's amazing for blending underneath your eyes. I have 1 for myself and 1 for my kit, and I love it. It's so good. Now this little baby right here. Do you guys see how tiny this brush is? It is so small, but oh my god. If you want like the most intense beaming pop right there, this is your brush. This is the Morphe M213. This came in the Jaclyn Hill Favorites. I never knew this brush even existed. I would have never picked this up if it was not in that kit. This brush, like if you want your inner highlight to literally beam, this is the brush. It's so small and dense, so it picks up so much product and just pow. This is another brush that I feel like you absolutely need for sure. Now I have 3 brushes for underneath the lower lash line. The first one I have here is the Morphe E18, and this one is a little bit fluffier, but it's amazing to really blow out your lower lash line. I used it today just to put eyeshadow in my inner corner because I didn't want something super intense. But you can pick this up and just blend out like your transition color for underneath your eyes, and it is beautiful. It blends so easily. You don't have to do too much work because it's a bigger brush. It's awesome. Next I have like the smaller little sister of this. As you can see, they're very similar in shape, but one's a lot smaller, and this is the Morphe E36. I have this brush as well in my kit and I love it. It's so good to get really, really close to your lower lash line, pack color inside of your inner corner, put color in your crease, all of that. It's just a really good brush, but I specifically like it for going underneath the lash line. My last brush is the Morphe M432, and this is a flat detailed definer brush. This brush, if you want to get like that really close, tight lash line defining moment, look, whatever, this is your brush. It is so good. I picked this one up at Ulta when they started carrying Morphe, and then I got one in the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette, so I have 2, 1 in my kit and 1 for myself. Freaking love this brush. It is so good. If you want like a nice like nice little thing there. I've also used it to clean up underneath eyebrows. I just really like this brush, and I feel like for lower lash lines, like this is a must. Alright guys, so those were all of the brushes that I recommend from Morphe brushes. Just to make it as easy as possible for you guys, I'll link everything down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there's any other collection videos that you guys want me to film. I don't really know what else there is left to say, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.